I think there are many ways to look at it. This was very much predictable. This was coming, and we have a precedent of these standoffs. The only thing different this time was the scale of those attacks. India struck about 9 different targets within deep inside Pakistan. Initially, the problems have been right around the borders and the Yellow Sea, but this time it was right in the cities, and this is unprecedented. And the situation has gotten pretty intense on both sides of the border.
And an attack had been expected since the action against tourists in Kashmir. But what do you make of the targets chosen, which India has described as terrorist infrastructure?
So India has been for a very long time, almost over a decade now, been pinpointing some of these cities, Murid ke, Bhavalpur, and some parts of Muzaffarabad, where they believe that the specific terrorist groups related to Kashmir have been harbored, trained, and they have those centers over there. And they have been wanting Pakistan to take an action against those outfits. Yet Pakistan does not agree to those claims, and it believes that there is no sanctuary for terrorists operating in those areas. But with the recent attacks in Kashmir, the India again escalated the situation, and it went on about the strikes on those specific outfits on its own, which again creates a very difficult situation for both of the countries now.
Can you tell us more about the unresolved issue of Kashmir? Why is it so contentious?
So I think this what we're facing right now, and these recurring patterns of India-Pakistan wars in 65, 71, and all over again, and now it's partly because of this colonial remnant that has been left over after the British left. There was a dividing line between Pakistan and India, the partition, and Kashmir was unfortunately an unresolved issue because it was the Maharaja on the Kashmir was allowed to pick up a side. And since then, because it had majority Muslims, but Hindu leadership, the Maharaja, there was a Hindu, it was not able to, get a clear direction on where it was going to go, either on the Pakistan side or the Indian side. And since then, both countries have really fought wars on the issue of Kashmir. But then again, the Kashmir issue and the local independence movement became very much militarized, and has been undergoing a lot of the region has been undergoing a lot of militancy and terrorism, which has created a whole new difficult situation for both countries to negotiate and bargain over. And I guess what we see right now, the escalation is again a sort of a continuation of that. But there's also a little bit more on that, where the two countries have a very different nature of how they're coming about to be. Pakistan is facing a very critical crisis in economy. There is a political collapse. There is currently a military regime in power over there, and India is on a very different trajectory. So this asymmetry and imbalance in power is creating a sort of friction between the two countries.
Okay. So a question everyone wants an answer to, Hussain, is what's Pakistan likely to do now? As a former senior government advisor, what would you be saying to the regime there?
I guess the for Pakistan to retaliate in a very big way is going to be a disastrous. Pakistan, I do not think, has the capability to fight this war for a prolonged period. It would rather have short-term, back and forth over the border, but not a long, prolonged war. For Pakistan, I think more important right now because again there is a military government in Pakistan. Power center is almost entirely centralized with the army chief. The democracy is suspended. So in that situation, I think the effort would be to have a narrative win. It's not going to be about the battleground, but who wins the narrative at the moment. And I think both sides are trying to play that part, where the Indian sides are claiming that they've downed about 4 jets. Pakistan is claiming that they have downed 5 jets, and back and forth they're trying to win the war of narratives. So the both sides, I don't think any of the sides want to escalate the situation anymore. And with the whole presence of the United States, China, and Saudi Arabia involved in the moment, all sides have basically conveyed that this situation cannot and should not be escalated. So I think Pakistan would probably want to go escalate the situation on the narrative and the social media than actually on ground.
The stakes are high, aren't they, though? Pakistan and India are both nuclear armed states. What does the international community need to do in order to cool tensions? What diplomatic pressure needs to be applied?
I think the situation has been brought about, and I think there is a context to it. The situation has been brought about because for a very long time, the international community has continued to prefer military governments in Pakistan over civilian democratic governments. That's because the military governments really help the international society, specifically the United States and other countries, to get short-term security interests met, while the civilian governments are not that amenable to the short-term security interests of any of the countries. So for a very long time, the international community has supported military dictatorships, which has kind of brought the Pakistan itself and the region into a sort of instability. Now, the only way forward over here is that there is a robust democracy in Pakistan. And as you probably already know, the former Prime Minister of Pakistan, the cricketing legend Imran Khan, continues to be in jail for the last 2 years. Under the military rule. So, unless and until there is not a credible, legitimate democracy in Pakistan, the chance for peace or stability in the region is nearly impossible. So I would highly recommend the international community to not just de-escalate the situation, but also go for a longer term solution where the two countries can live in peace. And that's only possible if the two countries are actually democratic and have some level of ability to negotiate and resolve issues.
Dr. Hussain Nadim, thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure.